The best cookie ever is the Snickerdoodle, and you are not gonna debate me on that. My Snickerdoodles are so good, you're gonna wanna bake them all the time. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making a chewy and fluffy and buttery Snickerdoodle. These are perfect for the holidays, but you can make them all year long. They are spiked with cinnamon and crusted in a sugar coating, and they're so easy to make. Let's make them right now. So we're just going to raid our pantry. I'm sure you have everything that you need to make a Snickerdoodle at this moment. We're going to use flour, sugar, butter, vanilla, cream of tartar, baking soda, eggs, a little bit of half and half or milk, and cinnamon. So to make our Snickerdoodles, we're just gonna whisk together our dry ingredients first. And to the flour, we're just going to whisk in some cream of tartar and baking soda and some kosher salt. And just whisk all of that to combine. And I like to use a whisk to kind of aerate the flour so that it's not as compact. Sometimes when you scoop it out of your flour container or out of the bag, it gets a little more compact, and if you don't fluff it up, get some air in there, you're gonna have a pretty dense cookie. And then we're just gonna set this aside. And next we're going to do our wet ingredients. So to the stand mixer, we're going to add 1 cup of butter. And you can use unsalted butter here or salted. I'm using salted. So if you use unsalted butter, you're gonna wanna add like a pinch more salt to the mix. And once you have your butter in here, we're gonna turn this on low and then slowly add our sugar. Oops, it would help if I lifted the bowl. There we go. So I'm just gonna scrape down the sides of my bowl to make sure we get all of that butter in there. Sometimes it gets stuck to the sides, and you wanna make sure that your butter and sugar combination are like light and fluffy before you add the eggs. Once you get to that point where they're light and fluffy, we're gonna add the eggs one at a time. Okay, we're gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl one more time. Now that the eggs are incorporated really well, we're going to add the half and half and the vanilla. One more time with scraping down the sides, and then we're going to add our dry ingredients slowly to the mix. And you're just going to beat the ingredients together until the dough starts to come together. It's gonna look a little dry and more like Play-Doh. That's the consistency that you want. All right, so our dough is done. We're just going to cover the whole bowl and stick it in the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours. You need to chill the dough for a little bit to let those gluten settle a little bit in the flour. And your dough is gonna be easier to work with if it's slightly chilled. So we'll just lower this. Scrape off as much dough off the beater as you can. Looks good to me. And then we're just taking this to the fridge. So our dough has been chilling, and you can chill this overnight. This is like a great make-ahead cookie dough recipe. And next we're just going to take our cinnamon and sugar and whisk this together in a little bowl. And this is your Snickerdoodle topping. This is the signature mix that actually makes it a Snickerdoodle. Making a big old mess. All right, let's see if I can find my cookie scoop. Right here. We're just gonna take a scoop of the cookie dough, put it in the palm of your hand, and we're just gonna roll these into balls. It just makes it a little easier to get that cinnamon sugar mixture onto the cookie dough. And there's one. So the next one. same size, same deal. These are great to freeze. So if you wanna make a big batch of dough and then freeze them, you can roll them just like this and then roll them in the cinnamon sugar and then put it on the baking sheet and then put the whole baking sheet in the freezer. And they can be close together when you're putting them in the freezer to freeze because they're not gonna spread. But put them in the freezer, freeze them until firm, transfer them to a Ziploc bag, and then you can bake single, double, triple cookies just like on the fly without having to make all this dough. I'm just gonna make one more and then we're gonna finish up and I'll pop them in the oven. So our cookies were baking for 12 minutes. They're done. When they come out, they're puffed up, but as they cool, they're gonna deflate a little bit, not too much. They'll still be like nice and chewy and sweet and cinnamony. And if you could smell my kitchen right now, I wish there was like smell-o-vision because it smells so amazing in here. So you're just gonna let them sit on the baking sheet for about 2 minutes to cool, and then we're gonna transfer them to the wire rack and resist the urge to take a bite and burn our mouth. This recipe should yield about 36 cookies, depending on how big your cookies are. But a standard size cookie is gonna give you about 36 cookies. So that's it, that's our Snickerdoodles. And I am now going to take a bite. So break it in half. They're so soft. You can see inside, like they're cakey and beautiful. So good. It tastes like Christmas. If you like this recipe, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.